This film was the breakout work of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. In the story, he plays a president only to later become one in real life. At the beginning, the newly elected Ukrainian president, determined to eradicate the country's long-standing corruption, convenes parliament to push through a series of anti-corruption laws. These bills would not only shape the nation's future but also determine whether Ukraine could secure a $15 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund. The entire nation watched the vote with anticipation. Yet in the end, he received only a single vote of support. One lawmaker even joked, "I must have pressed the wrong button, I was drunk last night." The chamber burst into laughter. But outside parliament, the reality was grim. Unemployment hovered around 40%, wages went unpaid for months, and many citizens could barely afford food. Against this backdrop, lawmakers still treated the vote as a joke. Furious, the president imagined grabbing a submachine gun and mowing down the entire assembly of politicians, but sadly, it was only a fantasy. Soon after, 3 oligarchs who controlled the nation's economy appeared. They offered him a deal. If the president would recognize their influence, they would help push the bills forward. Even his secretary urged him to compromise, but he refused to yield and decided to take another path. He soon found Yuri, a former prime minister forced out by the oligarchs, now living in luxury despite being imprisoned. The president proposed a deal. If Yuri handed over incriminating evidence against the oligarchs, his sentence would be reduced. Yuri readily agreed and delivered a USB drive hidden inside his mother's tombstone, containing the darkest secrets of the 3 tycoons. Yuri's advice was blunt: use the information to sow discord and let the 3 destroy each other. At first, the plan worked. Mutual suspicion grew, and their alliance began to crumble. But at the critical moment, the president's soft heart betrayed him. He called to warn the informant. The oligarchs quickly saw through the entire scheme and, instead of tearing each other apart, reconciled and became stronger than before. Yuri was livid. The carefully crafted plan collapsed in an instant. Before long, the oligarchs' enforcers came after them, forcing the president and Yuri to flee. Disguised as clowns, they were even pushed on stage to sing a love song, barely escaping with their lives. Later, at a wedding, they saw another chance. The president deliberately cozied up to one of the oligarchs, creating a media spectacle that convinced the public the trio's alliance had shattered for good. Sure enough, the new prime minister the oligarchs tried to install ended up with no support. The plan, though messy, succeeded. Yuri vanished abroad with a new identity, while the president gained a brief reprieve. But the real test still lay ahead. The IMF loan came with strings attached. Ukraine had to begin large-scale shale gas extraction. This would devastate agriculture and undermine the very foundation of the nation. Faced with the prospect of easy billions, the president refused. At the meeting, he delivered a fiery speech, declaring that Ukraine must not sell out its future. In the end, he threw the contract into the air and walked away.